Oh my goodness, did it work? Did it work the first time, Blaholzen? Good to see you. Okay, please tell me you can hear me. Please tell me you can hear me. Did we do it for the first time? Nothing gives me more gray hairs faster than streaming live on Steam. I will say that much. Please tell me you can hear me. So the player defaults to muted. The sound, for some reason, defaults to muted on the Steam Store player. You can hear it. Oh, so good. So good. And of course, I just shared on social media, and the only the only place I linked with the actual Steam Store page was one place, and I shared in like 10 different places. But anyway, we're here. We're here. Happy Crimson Commonday. How's the music level? Happy Crimson Commonday. I usually stream on Twitch. I usually stream on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, but today is a special day. This is a confluence of Steam Next Fest and the Women-Led Games event. It's all happening at the same time. So I'm going to just get this done. I'm going to show you guys the new trailer. No, I'm not. I'm going to show you guys the new demo and play through it and answer any questions you might have about the development of the Crimson Diamond, which is launching August 15th, which I'm very excited about. So please ask me any questions about that. And then after this, actually, I've scheduled a rebroadcast on from Wednesday 8 p.m. to the end of Next Fest, in case anybody misses this stream that might want to see it later. Yes, happy Crimson Monday. First things first. Oh yeah, and there's something else. If there's some time after we finish playing through the whole demo, I dug up an old build of the demo from 2021 with none of the introductory sequence art that we're about to see. It's all the placeholder art, so we can see how far we have come from 3 years ago to this point with the art. Okie dokie. Let's get started. First, I will introduce myself. Welcome to my... I'm live, by the way. There's a oh, wait, over this way. It says live. We're live right now, everybody. So definitely, if you have questions, ask away. I am Julia Minamata. I've made the Crimson Diamond, and I did it all by myself, except for the music, which is very important. This music we're hearing right now is not from the game, but when we start playing the demo, you're going to hear the amazing music that was composed by Dan Polakar, who bought a real, honest-to-goodness, Roland MT32 and composed all the music on the thing. And we streamed a lot of that on Tuesdays, on Crimson Tuesdays, when Dan is not touring the world, because Dan, among other things, is a touring musician and a teacher, composer. He does a bunch of different things. But we composed most of it live on Crimson Tuesdays, which was wonderful to have him. We're gonna get into this. There is a new trailer. I forgot to prep that today, and that's my bad. But it's not even on the Steam Store page yet, but it is on the IGN live event page. If you were to look on YouTube for the Crimson Diamond trailer IGN live, you'll find it there. And I'm sorry I don't have it for you today. But let's get into it. I'm going to turn this music off. We're just going to dive right in. Here is this. And just to give you a quick comparison, here is the current build of the demo. And there is a new version of the demo. The version that I'm going to be playing today is the demo that is available on Steam, on Itch.io, and also I hope it's going to be on Fireflower. I actually sent the build to the Fireflower Games people today, so I don't know if it's up yet, but this is the old build. This is from 2021. Here's the new and improved. We're going to play the new and improved. Let's get started. Happy Crimson Commander. Yes, good to see you. Okay, let's do this. And let me know if the music is too loud or too soft or whatnot. If you have never played a game that looks like this or sounds like this, don't be afraid. It's a text parser adventure game. Don't be afraid. I have a tutorial that I've created for people who have never played a text parser adventure game. And if you haven't, I certainly would not be surprised, because this style of game kind of fell out of fashion 30 plus years ago. So it's likely that you haven't played one before, but it's my absolute favorite way of playing a game, and that's why I've made my game a text parser. Hey Eric, good to see you. Happy Crimson Tuesday. So this gentle music and the theme music, this was all composed by Dan, and it's lovely. And I'm going to walk you through the tutorial room. This is going to give you a basic set of commands you're going to be commonly using in the game, but it's a text parser game, so there is a lot of other experimentation and verbs that you can experiment with yourself. Okay, so welcome to the tutorial room. My name's Nancy Maple. I'll be showing you some of the basics of playing a text parser adventure game. Follow the text prompts at the bottom of the screen to progress through the tutorial. When you first enter a room, it's useful to start by typing look. Just start typing on your keyboard as you normally would. Okay, so look. When you type look in a room, the game will describe important features. You see a cupboard and a green door. The game will also list the other characters in that room. Jack is here. Type look Jack to learn more about him. Look man or look person will work too if you're having trouble with names. Okay, let's take a look at Jack. Look Jack. Jack is a tall, lean man with a shiny, bald head. He is Mr. Richards' employee and is in charge of the cooking, cleaning, gardening, and myriad other tasks the lodge might require. He's weary, but still seems to be in decent spirits. Jack is somewhere in his 40s. Jack is here to help with the tutorial. How do you do? Looking at characters at different points in the game may give you additional information, like how they're feeling, what they're up to, and everything like that. Try to talk to Jack and see what he has to say. Talk to Jack. Hello, Jack. My name's Nancy Maple. Nice to meet you, Nancy. You can ask me about this tutorial. Type Ask Jack About Tutorial. And this is actually one of the beauties of text parser adventure games. No dialogue trees, no laundry list of conversational topics that you have to check off. What you're going to be asking about is stuff you're going to actually just get from the text you're reading. And it's a real fun way from even to add writing after the fact. There's a few fun things I added to the new demo that you can now ask other characters about and get more, like little ideas about what the story was like before you got there. So let's try. Ask About Tutorial will also work. And this is another thing I worked really hard with. Text parser games kind of fell out of favor partly because there were advancements in technology that meant that we could use a mouse, in fact, to play a game. And can you only imagine? But they were also tricky to use because there was a lot of guessing exactly like the magical order of words and the magical grammar that the engine wanted. And I've really tried to make my game something where if you have the idea of what you want to do, hopefully you'll be able to type what you want to do and then it'll recognize that as the action that it needs to perform. And if that's not the case, please send me feedback and I'll be more than happy to try to accommodate that. Yeah, somewhere in his 40s. Yeah, so well, we don't need to talk about that. Okay, let's ask about tutorial. Ask Jack about tutorial. The default movement method is click to walk, shown by the 2 footprint icon. I've been calling this game a point-and-click adventure game because when you say that, people have an expectation of what a point-and-click adventure game is, but technically speaking, this game is only point-and-click in that you point-and-click. You can use the mouse to point-and-click where you want Nancy to walk, and also you can use the inventory screen. You can point-and-click on the inventory screen, but for the most part, you don't need to use the mouse at all for this game. The blue in the upper left corner of the icon indicates what the target spot is. Or you can use the arrow keys to move around the screen. You can also ask me about inventory. Well, speaking of, let's ask Jack about inventory. You can access your inventory by typing INV or I into the text parser, or you can press tab. And that's one of those staples of this type of adventure game is tab would open up your inventory. Among other things, the function keys will all like save, restore the game, repeat your last thing that you entered into the text parser, all kinds of fun stuff. It's a way for people who grew up with these games and remember how these games worked to sort of be like, oh yeah, this feels like what I remember playing back when I was a kid. The cursor will change to an eye. Click the eye on the items in your inventory to look at them. Okay, an issue of the Toronto Eye from a few weeks ago. Click on the gray loop icon at the bottom of the inventory window. The cursor will become a loop. You can examine some of your inventory items more closely using the loop. You admire the minute dots that comprise the newspaper photograph of a round-cut diamond. The natural diamond described in the article would be an octahedron, not a faceted specimen. What an embarrassing inaccuracy. Nancy is a rookie mineralogist/geologist. She's self-taught, and she loves to share some of her knowledge about mineralogy and geology with the lodge's guests. And that's something else I added into the new version of the demo is I felt like Nancy should be able to share some of her her knowledge with the guests. And so you can now tell people about geology and mineralogy or ask them what they know about mineralogy and geology. You can close the inventory window by pressing Tab, the escape key, or Enter. You can also examine objects in a room using the loop. Type examine the cupboard to learn more about it. Okay, examine the cupboard. Okay, and you can see we've got like a circular, this time it's got a circular user like interface thing that's showing you that we're actually like magnifying an area. The cupboard is made of a lovely fine-grained wood, though it's seen better days. Most furniture won't be that interesting to examine. This is just an example. If you're not sure what to do next, you can check your notebook. Try Ask Jack About Notebook. Ask Jack About Notebook. The notebook can be helpful if you get stuck. It'll tell you what you need to do next to progress through the game. Be careful, if you simply follow the notebook's prompts, you might miss important details. The notebook will be displayed if you type Note or N. To flip through your notebook pages, click the green up and down tabs or use the arrow keys on your keyboard. You can close the notebook by clicking the X button and the escape key or Enter. Okay, so this is, we can use this. And we can see that the objectives have been tracked currently in the tutorial where we've looked at Jack, we've talked to Jack, we've asked Jack about the tutorial. I can also use the arrow keys to scroll through this as well. This is another example of not really being a point-and-click adventure game, but kind of is. And it is the type of, it's just that genre basically. So I think it's safe to say, to call it that. Okay. Okay, ask Jack about cupboard. You can open the cupboard by typing open cupboard. If you type open door, it'll open the green door and not the cupboard door. Sometimes there will be more than one cupboard, in which case you might have to walk close to the cupboard you want to open. Okay. So there's only one here, so we can just open cupboard and she will walk over to the only cupboard in the room and open it. You open it. Looks like there's something inside the cupboard. If you look cupboard, the game will tell you what the cupboard looks like. If you look in cupboard, the game will tell you what's inside the cupboard. Search cupboard also works. Okay, yeah, Eric, I'm glad that you like the geology mineralogy topics. Because she's super keen about these things and loves to share her knowledge with other people, and I felt that was very much in her character. Let's look cupboard, and it's going to tell us massive. The cupboard is massive with a set of double doors with paneling. We can search cupboard, which will be to look in the cupboard. You see a green hat in the cupboard. Okay, look hat. You see a green hat in the cupboard. That's my green hat. Try take hat. Take hat. Okay, you take the green hat. Congratulations, you've completed the tutorial open door to leave this tutorial. This tutorial has covered the most commonly used parser commands, but there are more to discover. Feel free to experiment. Congratulations, you're done. Open the door and walk out to leave. Thanks for playing the tutorial. Hope it was helpful. Okay, so here we go. So this I'm using the arrow keys, or yes, you can use the point and click interface here as well. Additionally, so this part is also kind of point and click. You can look at your inventory here, but there is also text-based inventory here, which is you can just use keyboard and not have to use your mouse. And if you type E when you've got one of these selected, you can examine the hat or just look at the hat. So open that door. Oh, Kate, happy Crimson Come Monday. Good to see you, Kate. Fantastic. And congratulations on your launch. Okay, if you're ready to leave the tutorial, either use the arrow keys to walk through the door or click the feet icon to the right of the open doorway. And this was something I added because I've taken this game to events and I've shown it, and people are not used to this type of navigation in a game. And some people would want to type, they've gotten used to the typing, they type leave room or go west or go east or something. So I felt like I wanted to make sure that people would be fully understanding of exactly how to move through rooms. This room will reset once you leave it. Thanks for playing the tutorial. Okay, here we go. Okay. Let's start a new game. So Crimson Tuesdays, what I usually did is, I know people would be concerned about having spoilers when watching a game developer working on a game, but I've been very careful. I've been streaming for the past 4 years on Tuesdays, and it's all been upgrading the art that you're going to see now. So I'm very excited to share the finished state of all the introductory sequence graphics, and that's all I really worked on during my streams. There are no spoilers in the story. We're not going to spoil anything in the story and in tonight's stream. I've been super careful about kind of keeping that from everyone but my testers. My testers know the whole game now, but if you just come to a stream, don't worry about having anything spoiled. Let's get started. Okay, Crimson Ontario, 1914. This is another wonderful Dan Policar track. I'm like reliving streaming the art for doing all this art. Okay, there you are, Nancy. A few notes about these characters. So this is the Royal Canadian Museum. This is your boss, Professor Plummer, who is a combination of the late, great Christopher Plummer, national treasure of an actor, and Professor Plum. And this particular room, I know adventure gamers really enjoy seeing Easter eggs from other adventure games in their games. And basically, I would say all of the Easter eggs in this game are restricted to this one room. And so I've put a bunch of fun stuff in here. Let's see if I can pause it. Okay. There is a dagger of Amon-Ra. You can see the Grim Fandango skull up here. There's Murray the skull. Let's see if I can pause this so we get a better view. Okay, this is it, what we've been waiting for. Oh, hold on. Okay, there we go. Perfect. Okay, so top shelf, we have Grim Fandango Mask. We have the Meteor from Maniac Mansion. We have Murray the Skull from Curse of Monkey Island. We have Green Tentacle, and we have the Grail Diary from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade EGA version. So this is kind of like the LucasArts shelf. Yes, Graham's head, exactly. Oh, no, you can't hear the music? Okay, I can turn that up. I will turn that up. Second from the top, we have the Dagger of Amon-Ra, a crystal decanter from the Colonel's Bequest. We have the Maltese Falcon from Quest for Glory 2, and yes, King Graham or Sir Graham's peaked cap. There is also here, second from the bottom, we have from Conquest of Camelot, we have this crystal formation that was in Merlin's study. We have one of the false grails from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. This dish is nothing. I just needed to fill that spot. The Schattenjäger amulet from Gabriel Knight. Bottom row is Holy Water from Personal Nightmare, which is an EGA adventure game that I let's played actually on my streams. So on Crimson Tuesdays, I stream art development for my game, and then at the end, I end off with let's playing an EGA adventure game. And I've really been enjoying that part of it. I've gotten to discover and play things I've never played before. And Personal Nightmare is one of them, and that's the Holy Water from that. Beside the Holy Water, we have Manannan's Cat from King's Quest 3. And this box is a jewelry box from another game I let's played on stream called Mortville Manor. The shield. This shield is from Last Half of Darkness. If any of you shareware enthusiasts from back in the day remember Last Half of Darkness, it was one of the few adventure game shareware games. Yes, we have Murray. And over here we have, far right by the doorway, we have the Chizo Mythos Idol. And Yahtzee Croshaw made a bunch of Chizo Mythos games in Adventure Game Studio, which is the engine that I'm using for my game. And he was a very huge inspiration for me to make my own game. So we've got that here. Underneath, we have the Rise of the Dragon. I played the Rise of the Dragon in EGA. It's a gorgeous game by Dynamics. Beside the dragon, we have the Idol of Many Hands from Secret of Monkey Island. Beside that, we have the Ark of the Covenant, which is kind of anachronistic, but that's fine. I really like the Last Crusade. Not Last Crusade, Raiders and all that, so that's why that's there. This giant angel is from Personal Nightmare, again. Underneath the crate over here you can see a bit of a Wadget Eye, which is a nod to Dave Gilbert's Wadget Eye games. Beside that, this wicker basket is from the Voodoo Lady's, her office, whatever you call that. The Voodoo Ladies area in Secret of Monkey Island. This globe is the same globe that you'll see in Colonel's Bequest. And this tapestry on the far right wall, that's also from Conquest of Camelot. So it's all here. All your adventure game Easter eggs in one handy dandy place. And I don't think I can actually turn the music up right now, unfortunately, because if I press escape, it'll just skip through the whole cutscene, unfortunately. But I will pump up the volume when we get... Oh, you know what? I could pump up the volume in OBS. Let's try that. Okay, I'll try that. That should make it a little bit better. Okay. No Hugo Easter eggs. You're right. Yeah, that's actually... I wish I had that, because Hugo was huge for me as well, you know, speaking of adventure game shareware. Okay. Far up north, a fisherman found a massive diamond in the belly of a fish. This could be a real boon for our mineralogy exhibit. We need something better than those dilettantes over in geology. And the Royal Ontario Museum did open around the same time, like the 1914s type of time, here in Toronto. So... I want our exhibit to be the talk of the town. It's too bad that we can't spare anyone to head up to the middle of nowhere on such a long shot. You could spare me. Let me go, Professor Plummer. It would be perfect. Everyone else is busy with the new exhibits. Well, I've just been learning the filing system. That could wait a day or two, couldn't it? Okay, this is another thing is you can see underneath the behind the newspaper here is like a sack of jewels, and that's also from the Colonel's Bequest. There are those jewels you could recover in that game. So, and they kind of look like marbles for some reason. So anyway, I put them in this as well. Oh, whoops. I'm not in the habit of sending unsupervised young ladies to less civilized regions. I just remember the line. But as luck would have it, the discovery was made near a lodge where I'm sure you could stay while you conduct your fieldwork. You win, Nancy. Get on home, pack your bags, and catch the train up north. Hooray! Thanks so much, Professor. Here she goes. If you find something that can make a big splash at the museum, who knows? Maybe the university will finally accept you as a mineralogy student. Good luck, kiddo. I won't let you down. Here we go. And a few hours later, this is actually the interior. I based this on a historic photograph of the interior of Union Station, which is a major transit hub in downtown Toronto. And it did kind of look like this. Here's my train. So that train sound is something I made in Beepbox. I'm hoping Dan is supposed to give me some more sound effects for the game. Hopefully I can incorporate those into the final build. But yeah, I was very pleased with my little train sound. And this exterior is based on a historic photo of Union Station around this time. Like I think this was from 1908 or something. This is it. My first time out of the city. I'm going to make the most of this trip. I can't wait to see the rocks of Northern Ontario. I might sneeze. I've been getting hay fever. I'm so sorry. I'll try not to. Hello. Goodbye, big city. Hello, adventure. A few hours later. And this is live, by the way, so if you have any questions about the Crimson Diamond development, please ask them in chat. Zzz. Excuse me, is this seat taken? Not at all. Please have a seat. Thanks. My name is Kimi Kishiro. Where are you headed? Pleased to meet you. I'm Nancy Maple. I'm bound for a town called Crimson. Oh my, you've got some hours yet. I should know because that's where I'm heading. I'm a clerk from the Royal Canadian Museum. My boss sent me to check out the diamond claim up there. I haven't heard of that discovery. Then again, I don't pay much attention to the news. It's a very strange story. Up by Crimson, a fish swallowed a huge diamond. Our fisherman caught it, sliced it open, and there it was, this spectacular sparkling gem. Can you imagine? I jumped at the chance to investigate. This is my first time out of the city. I couldn't be more excited. Where will you be staying when we get to Crimson? A place called Crimson Lodge. Ah, I'm staying at Crimson Lodge. I'm a birder. I hear there are nesting colonies of cormorants up there. That's what I want to see. Oh, you like the professor's white hair and walk cycle? Oh, thank you. Actually, the walk cycle is pretty much, I think I just reskinned Jack for the most part. Okay, let's see. I wouldn't mind seeing the Sioux Locks while I'm in the area. I'd love to see the big ships up close. The Sioux Locks was one of the biggest public work projects in Ontario at this time. It was actually a little bit earlier before this time, like turn of the 1900s. And it was like basically, I think, hand-dug canals that connected the Great Lakes waterways to be an essential way to ship goods and things through the Great Lakes. Wonderful. We can be traveling companions. I'd very much like that. It's still in operation today, the locks. You and Kimmy chat amiably for a while. As the day wears on, the rhythm of the train moving over the tracks and the monotony of the scenery lulls you into a deep sleep. Thank you. Eric says, Kimmy Kishiro is my favorite character. She must be protected at all costs. I based Kimmy a lot on like my mom, because my mom loves bird watching too. So we go bird watching just about every weekend. The conductor announces, Crimson, this stop. Nancy, it's time to go. Ah, thanks. Oh no, where's my luggage? It's not here. There's no luggage left at all. My field kit's in there. What am I going to do? This is kind of like Laura Bow 2 and the Dagger of Amon-Ra, where Laura takes the train to the city and loses her luggage or gets it stolen. So, get this idea of the adventure game character starting from nothing and having to improvise is pretty standard. The train will be leaving soon, Nancy. We have to leave now. Ah! Oh, I had no idea anyone else was still on the train. Hello there. Hello. Now, of course, this guy, he's very much inspired by Hercule Poirot of the Agatha Christie mysteries. And yeah, that leads me to remind myself that Nancy Maple's name is a combination of Nancy Drew and Miss Marple. And I have been starting to do Instagram reels about 3 times a week where I share some of my mom's vintage Agatha Christie book covers and talking about how I used to take them off the shelf and just stare at them. These like from the 1970s, so they're like these beautiful Tom Adams covers. It's been really fun to share those with people. They used to really scare me. I didn't notice you in the train. Isn't that funny? Not really. I was in the first class car. I'm here to see the nesting cormorants. Is that why you're here? Yes, very Poirot. And he's actually Belgian as well, my character. Cormorant, is that a type of rodent? Excuse me, folks. But I was sent to pick up just one person from the station tonight, Mr. Albert Respa. A European fellow, expert mineralogist, on assignment, hired by the federal government on loan from Antwerp. And that's another thing. Antwerp has historically been, and remains to this day, a hub for diamond trading and the associated trades of like lapidary and all that type of a thing. Gem cutting and things. And that's Antwerp, Belgium. And so it does make sense that Albert Respa, being Belgian, would kind of be connected to Poirot in that way. So it's not just a thing. And people sometimes think of Antwerp, they think that it was an Easter egg about the Antwerps in Quest for Glory, and that's not true. But, I mean, if it works too. Yes, protect Kimmy with Nancy's life. I wasn't told he'd be bringing any secretaries, wives, girlfriends. So that's a thing. This game is set in 1914. We have some casual sexism, and that doesn't mean that Jack is a bad person. This is the context that people were raised, and they had these certain ideas about things, you know. But of course, you know, this being a character that a modern person wrote, I'm certainly not going to let that stand. I'm sorry for the confusion, sir. Jack. I'm sorry for the confusion, Jack, but we don't know this man at all. My name is Nancy Maple, and my friend here is Kimi Kishiro. I was sent from the Royal Canadian Museum to investigate the diamond claim up by Crimson Lodge. And I'm here to see the nesting cormorants. We're both here to stay at the lodge and go about our business. Do you know which way it is from here? I surely know where it is because that's where I drove out from. But I'm sorry to tell you, ladies, the lodge has been closed to the public for months. You didn't hear? So this is feeds back to Kimmy saying she doesn't really pay attention to the news. Oh, two people talking at the same time? Can you hear too, or is it an audio thing? A technical thing? My boss, Mr. Richards, he's getting on. He's done with the lodging business. All he wants is peace and quiet, but then this whole diamond fiasco starts up. Folks all up in arms. And also, is the music more audible? Because I turned up OBS a little bit. He's not pleased at all, I can tell you. This gentleman is here on the government's orders. Mr. Richards can't do much about that. But you two... Well, that's unfortunate, but you only have yourselves to blame for being uninformed. Let's be off, Jack. Oh, okay, good. Thank you. I'm relieved. Thank you, Mr. Orange. Okay. Good evening, ladies. The thing is, ain't no one's coming by here at this time of night. And the nearest accommodation is the lodge, which is a few hours away by automobile even still. Look here, I'll drive you ladies up to the lodge for the night. Tomorrow morning, I'll bring you back here so you can catch the train. As it is, Mr. Richards is going to be peeved about hosting unexpected guests. I mean, even more than he already is. His sister's come up from the city to stake her claim. And she brought a lawyer to boot. Come along now. Are you still... Okay, I will turn it up even more. Yui and Min. I'm sure I'll get those for you. But yeah, unfortunately, I can't do it during the sequence because, yeah, the escape key opens up the main menu when you don't have the text parser, and that will just cancel out the rest of this. Sir, your trunks arrived a few days ago. Boy, they sure are heavy. Ah, yes, of course. My, it sure gets dark here at night. Lucky for you, I've made this trip many times. Used to be, folks would come out here in the summers for recreation. And before my time, settlers came to this area in hopes of building lives for themselves. But once the mines were used up, there wasn't much reason for them to stay. The soil ain't that good. Have you seen any cormorants? Yeah, and Kimmy is very into that. And that's going to be her thing. I'm hoping to see some. Yeah, they nest up on the cliffside. Stay away, though. They don't like being disturbed, particularly during nesting season, which happens to be right now. So, if you're so wild about birds, I'd let them alone. You'd do more harm than good. Oh, okay, Mr. Orange says, music is often the first thing I turn down, so I'd be okay with that. Lady Norman, Happy Crimson Tuesday. Oh no, I see. Habit, Happy Crimson Monday. I found the music was low when I played the previous demo for what it's worth. Okay, yeah. I default the music being to set super low on the scale. It will go up quite loud actually, but I've heard other people say that when they launch a game, one of their pet peeves is when it just blasts their eardrums out, and I certainly didn't want that, and so I kind of maybe overcompensated. I made the music super low when you do launch it for the first time. Besides, tomorrow morning I'll be taking you right back to the train station so you won't have any time to go looking for them. Have any other diamonds been found around the lodge? First of all, no way to know if that rock even came from around here. I've lived in this area for years and ain't never seen any diamonds, so I know for a fact it didn't come from these parts. They say that man cut it out of the belly of a fish. That diamond could have come from anywhere upstream. You folks are wasting your time, sorry to say. Who cares about shiny rocks anyway? No use to anybody. Better safe than sorry to keep the music low. We'll see about that. Alright, your travel-weary companions resist your attempts at chit-chat. It seems that Kimmy and Albert have fallen asleep, although in the almost complete darkness, it's hard to tell. It's impossible for Jack to hear you from the backseat above the cacophony of the engine and the automobile rattling over the rough country road. You decided it would be best not to distract him anyway. Here we are. Wow, it's spectacular. You know what? I almost don't mind having more bodies in the lodge. Feels not so empty. Feels like old times. Make yourself at home while you're here. Yeah, hearing loss is no joke. Yeah, those little hairs in your ears do not come back. Welcome to Crimson Lodge. I'm going to my room. Miss Kashiro, Miss Maple, your bedroom is upstairs at the end of the hall on the right. The bedroom across the hall from you, it's Mr. Richard's suite. Try to keep quiet and stay out of his way, won't you? He shares the suite with Margot. She's his lady friend. I'm in the bedroom right next to yours along with Mr. Shaw. Albert demanded the use of my bedroom, so that's where he is. I don't know why he was so insistent, but the customer is always right, huh? Eh? Ha. That's the smallest bedroom and it wasn't really meant for guests. Nessa's room is across the hall from Albert. I'd stay away from her if I was you. After I get this luggage upstairs, I'm going to start up supper. Wouldn't do to have you all starve, eh? It's a Canadian thing, right? I don't even say but anyway. Northern Ontario, maybe they say it more. Why don't you explore the lodge a little? Talk to the other folks, more important. Stay out of my hair, I'm a busy man. Not literally, of course. Oh, and if you want to shower tonight, use the upstairs bathroom near the stairs. It's very pink, you can't miss it. Okay? I wonder if Nat's still here. How many places do I got to set at the table tonight? You and Kimmy head upstairs to your bedroom. You don't have any luggage to unpack, but you hang your hat and coat on the footboard of your bed and consider yourself settled in. Here we go! At long last. Here we go. We can actually play the game now. We have is a classic Golden Age mystery setup of everyone being in this one location. And the game takes place primarily in this one location, in and around the lodge. Yeah, if you want to shower... Yeah, we'll do that. We'll shower. Okay, to move Nancy, you can click the feed icon on your target destination. Yes, I did, in fact, insert a bit of tutorialization into the actual game. In case people want to skip the tutorial, this happens at the beginning anyway. Or you can use the arrow keys to move. I should talk to everyone and get to know them a little before dinner. Okay, your notebook will tell you what you need to do to progress through the game. Yes, I did. I know it's redundant, but I don't know how many people are going to actually do that tutorial. Although... there will be Steam achievements in this game, and one of the Steam achievements will be to complete the tutorial, so I will wonder what those stats will be. Okay. Yes, we all know this, because we did this all together. Lots of notes you can scroll with the arrow keys. Essential objectives that must be completed to progress the game will be marked with, like, asterisk. Those look like little X's, but they're asterisks. And this is probably a good time to bring up. This game is linear. But there are things that you can miss. And some of the things you can do that action in multiple ways. And that's kind of been my threading the needle between having something be completely linear and step by step and something that is more branching, which would have been a lot more difficult and a lot more like time intensive and labor intensive to do. But yes, you can definitely miss stuff in this game. So you're encouraged to explore to your heart's content. And then when you want to progress the game, you can fulfill the game objectives that are listed in the notebook. Okay, seeing as I've lost my luggage, I don't have much to amuse myself with before dinner. Perhaps if I take a look around, time will pass a bit faster. You and Min, you said you didn't try showering when you initially played the demo. Oh no, that's okay, because that's another highly optional action that you don't really need to do. But it's there. It's there for fun. Okay, type look into the text parser is a good way to get your bearings. So let's do that. Let's look. This is the bedroom you're sharing with Kimmy. A pair of twin beds and matching nightstands are set against the east wall. Kimmy has claimed the bed closest to the fireplace, a clever move on her part as summer nights are still chilly this far north. And this game is set in like late summer in 1914, which is kind of, it's actually set in August, and the game launches in August, so I guess it's kind of perfect. Kimmy is here. All right, so we have this, and let's turn that music up a little bit higher. You see, it's like almost like nothing right now. So let's turn it up. Okay. You recommend the shower, just be mindful. Yes. Yeah, that's the thing is you can shower. You can also shower and not experience one of the two outcomes from the shower if you're careful. And I can show both. I'm going to pump this all the way up. I'm going to play Turbo Nancy because I'm used to it. Oh, yeah, this is right. Okay, so here we are. This is Turbo Nancy speeding around. And we have to talk, so why don't we talk to Kimmy? I've never been to a place like this before. I'm excited to explore, and I love meeting new people. Yes, you are the inquisitive type, aren't you? Jack did invite you to introduce yourself to everyone else, after all. It's only polite. I most certainly am. Would you like to join me? No thanks, Nancy. I'm exhausted. That bumpy ride from the train station has left me a bit frazzled. I'm looking forward to some peace and quiet before dinner. I can take a hint. I'll leave you be. Oh, one more thing. While you were asleep, Jack mentioned some old lodge brochures stored in the curio cabinet's drawer. And this is something that's new to this version of the demo. Adding a vroom sound effect in your head to the... I don't do that, but it's a fun thing to do. Because I just make her motor along pretty quick. They were meant for guests back when the lodge was used as an inn. Even though we may not stay long, he said we're welcome to take them as keepsakes. Thanks, Kimmy. Okay, here we go. Yes, now we've talked to Kim. He's marked with an X in the notebook, so that keeps track of that. Open the curio cabinet drawer, then search the drawer and take the brochure. This drawer used to be empty, so we're gonna actually do this search drawer because we know that is a way to do that where we can open and look. The curio drawer is stuffed with old brochures back from when the lodge was still being run as an inn. Let's take a brochure. You pick up one of the lodge brochures. Yeah, look at her go. Room. Oh, we can ask. Okay, let's ask. That was we can ask Kimmy about brochures. I like brochures of places I've visited. It was nice of Jack to offer the lodge brochures to us, though I wonder if he's just trying to get rid of them as the lodge is no longer in business as an inn. Okay, type map into the parser to open up the lodge brochure and see the map inside, or you can look at the brochure in your inventory. So, you can type map. Map of Crimson Lodge, how handy. This was not something that was in the older versions of the demo, and when watching people play like at events and on streams and everything, sometimes people would like miss some of the rooms, and I felt like this was a good way to make sure that people don't miss some of the rooms as well. It's just a fun item to have and to like be able to obtain in this first chapter, because the first chapter is actually pretty like straightforward and simple and relatively short. The game has 7 chapters, 6 gameplay chapters, and then like a 7 debrief chapter where you are like quizzed on how well you learned how to, what the story of the game and everything. So there's basically 6 gameplay chapters, and they're all more like complicated and involved than chapter 1. But it's nice to have like another little. Oh yeah, actually I'm going to change it back to the graphical inventory because I prefer it that way. So here's the brochure. You can look at it. Also, yeah, this is another thing that's new to this version of the demo is this status bar that pops up where you can kind of open up your most used commands. And that's kind of a staple of those old Sierra adventure games. Yeah, it is not a fast travel map, but it's there for, as a helpful guide. Oh my gosh. Okay, Mr. Orange says, okay, figured out the 2 voices thing from earlier. The trailer for the game was auto-playing below. Okay, thank you for letting me know. Because I get kind of spooked out when that kind of thing happens. And actually this afternoon, I was trying to upload the new trailer, but it wasn't working. So I got to try that again later tonight, I think. The new trailer was made by Gary J. Kings, and it's a really, really good trailer with some like clips of like later in the game. So if you're concerned about spoilers, maybe don't watch the trailer. The most important part of the trailer is the launch date, which is August 15th. So you guys know that already. But if you do want to see like parts that are not in the demo, like fun clips and everything, yeah, you can check out the new trailer. Okay, so Yui and Min are GF says, I found out about the shower after the fact because I searched Crimson Diamond on YouTube looking for a new trailer and it came up in the results. Then I went back and tried myself. Nice. Yeah, okay. So now we have that. Why don't we close that drawer to be neat, nice and neat. Okay, and open door. There's only one door here, so we can just do that. Okay. Type H or help to open the help window. There's a list of parser shortcuts to simplify using the parser. Example O space D means open door. And Eric, I'm glad you're here because you're the one who suggested that I have text parser shortcuts, and I'm very happy that I got to implement them. And here are some of them. And there are some other shortcuts here that I don't even think are listed, such as Control L is look at, Control A is ask about, Control T is talk to, Control E is examine. And there was no, it's a very low res screen. This game is 320 by 200 pixels. There's just no room on this. I might have to redo this part because I think those shortcuts are probably very helpful, but no room for them here. Yeah, Cade, yeah. So other games do that too as well, like doing F3. Oh, will enter in your last parse. Even in my game, spacebar is going to give you the last parse that you entered, which is helpful too if you want to ask a lot of questions. Oh, hey, okay, Mug Monster. Good to see you, Mug Monster. Nice. Okay, gotcha. Good to see you. It's nice to see familiar faces. Okay, moving on. We'll try that OD. Another thing that also works here is you can close the west door. There's just a lot of ways to do things. I wanted to make sure that, however people want to play, maybe speedrunners who want a quick way to open up one of the specific doors and mentioning it by name, possibly. Okay, let's search this closet. Okay, the wardrobe contains a few garment bags and folded up pairs of overalls. This is something that is also new to this demo. There are a lot of drawers and cupboards in this game, and the only reason that happened is because I was not planning on making a game when I started drawing these rooms. And so as a result, until very recently, until this latest build of the demo, all of this furniture was empty. Well, not all, most of the furniture was empty. And, understandably people were like, well, where's all this stuff? Like, I've been opening all these drawers and things and there's nothing to show for it. And so I added some stuff so you can actually look at overalls if you want. Overalls are folded neatly at the bottom of the wardrobe. You can look at the garment bag. There are 3 garment bags hanging in the wardrobe. We can open them if we want. This is all like, again, flavor stuff. You unzip a bit of each garment bag and peek inside. Each contains a long woolen coat stored away from the winter. Oh, thank you. Yeah, Mr. Orange, I'm glad you like the text shortcuts. They are super helpful because I do want to encourage people to talk to the character and ask them questions, and this is a good way to make it less painful. Let's go bother Albert. We will, Lady Noramon, we will bother Albert. Yeah, totally. Eric, you emailed me. You were saying, like, yeah, I mean, text, the typing and stuff, like some people have, dexterity issues and all these things, so it could be helpful to have text parser shortcuts, and they did have them, I think, in one of the Police Quest games and other games. Yeah. Good old flavor text. You zip the garment bags back up, we can try to take them. You have neither the inclination nor the ability to haul around heavy garment bags. Did I even write a parse for this? Wear overalls? Yeah, the overalls are neither your size nor your style. Okay. Let's open this door. We have... Yes, the mirror thing is another thing that I love very much. That I remember seeing in King's Quest 3 and being blown away by the mirror in Manannan's bedroom. Let's look. The boudoir transports you to fin de siècle Paris. It's shiny, opulent, perhaps slightly tacky, and very, very pink. A mirror vanity is the focal point of the room. Exotic perfumes hover in intensely localized clouds that you can almost see. Every movement stirs air currents that bring new scents to your nose. A powder compact is on the vanity. You see a pretty blonde woman in a fashionable dress. We can actually smell in this room. Margot's boudoir is a dizzying melange of scents. You smell a bright neroli scent. You smell headache-inducing white lilies. You smell a powerful aroma of roses. Yeah, I mean, this is just like a randomized thing that I put in just for fun. There's no real reason for that. I mean, there might be times in the game where you might want to smell something, but it doesn't happen that often. Just like in Colonel's Bequest, I think you only had to smell one thing in the whole game. But anyway, the beauty of text parser. Let us talk to Margot. Or, we could have said talk to woman or talk to person. I'll demonstrate that stuff too. Hello there, it's nice to meet you. My name's Nancy Maple. A pleasure to meet you, mademoiselle. I am Margot. Welcome to Crimson Lodge. How long will you be staying with us? I'm only here tonight, unfortunately. I was sent here by the Royal Canadian Museum on assignment, but Jack says I'm due to leave on the train tomorrow, according to Mr. Richards' wishes. Yes, exactly. Sniff, sniff. I see. I'm sorry we won't get to know each other better. Crimson Lodge is a lovely place. I was a city girl for a time, but those days are behind me. Why don't we try our thing? Actually, we forgot to ask and tell Kimmy about mineralogy, but we'll start from here. We'll start tell person about mineralogy. Mineralogy is an incredibly old and well-documented field of study. The Babylonians and ancient Greeks studied the properties of minerals, as did the medieval Chinese, ancient Indians, and Golden Age Islamic scholars. It is wonderful to see your eyes light up when talking of these things. You are clearly a very passionate person. So thanks. Anyway, so there's that one. You can tell about geology. Geology isn't just about studying rocks and their compositions, though that's what I love learning about. Because of geology, we know so much about plate tectonics, the evolutionary history of life, and past climates. And it may be Happy Crimson Happy Crimson Commander, good to see you. The world is a mystery, n'est-ce pas? But she teases us with an abundance of clues. Wait, maybe we'll ask Margot what she knows about mineralogy. Ask about. Control A. Mineralogy. And yes, Colonel's Bequest Hallways. Can you tell me anything interesting about the minerals in Crimson? Only that they are very beautiful and that they sometimes sparkle on the riverbanks in the moonlight. Sometimes? Yes, it's a little odd. Sometimes when the moon is out, I cannot see them, but perhaps the river is washing them away. Yes, perhaps. Let's ask about geology. Do you know any interesting rock facts? Okay. I have something called the Crimson Gazette, which if you go to thecrimsondiamond.com, you can subscribe to it. It's my monthly devblog newsletter. And I provide links of my live streams that I do. I also will, like, whatever articles and stuff or podcasts that I've been on, links to all those things. Craft Corner, where I show cross stitches and other types of hobbies that I have. And I have a rock fact in there as well. That's one of the last things, is a rock fact. And so Nancy wants to know some rock facts. Sub-Zero, happy Crimson Commonday. Oh, I'm glad you guys like the writing. I do love writing, and that's one of the best things about being a solo game dev. Well, except for the music, of course. Like I'm always quick to credit Dan with the music, but with everything else, there's just so many ways to be creative, and just getting to work, have them work all together. It's really, really rewarding. I'm afraid not, although I will say that I love the colorless garnet my Evan gave me. I wear it as a pendant. Okay. Let's see. Let's check the notebook. We acquired Lodge Brochure, which contains a type map to view the lodge's layout. We talked to Margot. If we look at the map, we can see this was from back when the lodge was an inn. So this area is considered the innkeeper's quarters, and we're actually we don't have a cursor right now, but yeah, we're in that left room there in the innkeeper's quarters. Okay. So why don't we look at that necklace? Look, necklace. Oh, wait. Yeah. Also, spelling is encouraged and necessary. The size of the necklace's pendant leads you to believe it's made of glass. Let's examine it. Examine necklace. And pendant would also work, I think. I better work. Oh, my goodness. Oh, wow. Yeah. I would love, printed materials, like manuals and, the Day of the Tentacle textbook. Willie Beamish as well. Eric says, Albert is a jerk. I bet the only rocks he's ever found are in his head. We're going to get to Albert next. Okay, so the clear colorless nugget is an odd amorphous shape. It shines with an almost adamantine luster. It's about the size of a grape. It's stunning. Ah, you're admiring my necklace? That is a colorless garnet. They are quite rare. Though it is nowhere near as valuable as a diamond, but we decide what is valuable to ourselves, don't we? It is from my Evan, therefore it is priceless to me. Another thing we can do in a lot of the rooms is sit. I like to show this because it's totally and utterly useless, but it's something I worked hard to put in the game because I wanted to, because I felt like a lot of adventure games don't let you sit down, and I wanted to. That's it. So here, this room here, this is Margot's walk-in closet. We can search this closet now. Oh, cupboard, CU is the short for cupboard wardrobe. It is very important to rest. Lady Norman, take necklace. Yeah, we could try. The wardrobe is full of feather boas in a rainbow of colors. And as you can see like there's a pink feather boa. And I was thinking, well, what am I going to put in Margot's walk-in closet, like this wardrobe? It was empty until this latest version of the demo. What on earth am I going to put in there? And I was thinking about Gloria Swansong from Colonel's Bequest and how she had her famous pink feather boa. And I thought, that's perfect. We'll do that. Take boa. I don't think Margot would appreciate me parading around in her things. Besides, I doubt I have the panache to pull off wearing one. Wear boa. Okay. Take boa. Look boa. Look boa. I've never seen a feather boa in real life. They look like fun to wear. Examine. I think also feather boa should work. The feathers look soft and colorful. Margot has one for every occasion, it seems. I don't know. Can you smell it? Boa. Chew. Yeah, of course. Oh my, that tickled my nose. Okay, I think that's all we can do with that. But we can ask Margot about the boas now, too. That's another thing. I added those items in the new version of the demo, but you can ask about them. They are extravagances, I know, but I love to be surrounded by beautiful things. The feathers make my Evan sneeze, but he bears it, and buys me a new one every year for my birthday. I am also surrounded by wonderful, caring people. I feel very lucky. That should just say I am surrounded. So I got to change that. Okay, let's continue. This is a bathroom. More mirror time. Another thing, you can wash your hands if you want. You can. Oh, we should flush the toilet and then wash our hands, but never mind. Let's do them in reverse and don't tell anybody. Flush toilet. All right. Now wash your hands again. Aha. Okay. Press escape or move the mouse cursor to the top of the screen to open the main menu for more options. You can save and load your game, adjust the game speed, and more. Right. Okay. Open door. Okay. This is the room that, I should just look and find out. This is the bedroom Jack is sharing with Corvus. Judging from the crate haphazardly filled with clothes, Jack didn't get much notice regarding this new living arrangement. There's a large dresser set against the back wall containing many small drawers. There's a pitcher and a drinking glass on top. You also see a low coffee table, a writing desk, bookcase, plush armchair, and a pair of beds. Okay, yeah, all these things. I mean, I could spend a lot of time going through every little thing here, like look at desk. Writing desk hosts a blotter, a lamp, and a cup of pencils. Let's look under blotter. There's nothing under the blotter. Look, pencils. Standard yellow pencils with handy-dandy rubbers on the ends. Take pencil. You never liked getting smudges on your hands. Anyway, a lot of these things have a lot of like writing attached to them, and you can explore that at your own leisure. The painting here that you see here. Oil paintings are hung over the two beds in this room. One features a majestic mountain range, and the other depicts a tuxedo cat lying on grass, surrounded by flowers. That is Dido Cat, our dear departed last family cat, who was real. That cat reminds me of the sweetest stray I've ever met. A tuxedo cat just like that. And that does exist as a little cross stitch, and it does exist as an actual patchwork quilt. Is there any way for us players to confirm whether or not Nancy's made of cake balls? No! There's no way of knowing. You're going to have to just speculate. Okay. Let's keep going down. Type in or I or tab button. See, this is again that hidden tutorial for those of you who have skipped the tutorial. You cannot escape it. Oh, well, you actually can escape it. In the launch screen, there is a button you can press for turn off these tutorial boxes, but they only happen once. You can look and examine your inventory in this window. You can choose between the default graphical inventory or text-based inventory in the main menu. Let's go over here, open the door. Aha! Why don't we sit? Why don't we sit and watch him unpack? You sit down. Look. This is a small bedroom, humbly furnished. Albert insisted on getting a room to himself, despite its size. The furniture in this room is of simpler make and consists of a wardrobe, desk, and nightstand. There's a pitcher and a drinking glass on the nightstand. Oh yeah, that's right. Yui and Minna GF. She doesn't get dissolved in the shower, so probably not cake. Not like Laura Bowen that Bayou. Oh yeah, you keep searching the trash cans, Lady Norimon. We'll speak no further about it. But they are a staple, aren't they, of these types of games? Okay, Albert is here, so we can actually look. We can call him person, because yeah, if you don't remember people's names, it's totally fine. You can call them person, people. Albert Respa is a stately, well-groomed gentleman in his 50s. His monocle gives him an elegant air. Antwerp sent him as an expert mineralogist to verify the diamond claim in Crimson. You have a hard time imagining him doing field work. Albert's unpacking these things. Let's talk to Al. Hello, Mr. Respa. How are you settling in? Please, miss. I'm busy at the moment and can't chat. Mr. Respa is unpacking his things and doesn't want to chat right now, but you still get credit for talking to him. Yes, Blahousen, it is curious that a fancy man would want this particular room. You'd think he'd want a very luxurious room. Another thing you can do in this game that I added that doesn't really do much but added bugs to the game, so I guess it did do something, is you can close this door. You can knock on doors. You knock lightly on Albert's door. Leave me alone, whoever it is. I am busy. There are some of you who are very, very polite, and you don't want to enter rooms without knocking first, which I think is very nice. And this one's for you. But it has added some bugs into the game where sometimes you can do that and then they won't be back. They'll have disappeared from this room. But so much of this game is things that were not essential, but I'm like, nah, we're going to add that. And I've got no one to blame but myself for doing that. Oh, yeah. You know what? Oh, yeah. Can we take his stuff? Take clothes? Albert's clothes would never fit you. Take suitcase and just run. No, we can ask him about mineralogy. Okay, please, Miss Maple, I'm rather busy at the moment. Perhaps we can converse after dinner. Can we tell him about mineralogy? And we should go back and talk to Kimmy about that too. My favorite thing... Oh, see, there's a typo here. My favorite thing about crystals is that their shapes are determined by their structures at the atomic level. From micro to macro. It's like magical sight. Can you kick him when he bends over? No, you cannot. There's no magic. It's just science. Tell about geology. So every one of these people has something different to say. Hey, we can go out in the field together. I work better alone and in peace and quiet. Okay. Let's go back and tell Kimmy about mineralogy. Mineralogy can tell us all sorts of things about the earth and what it's made of. I find it fascinating. It's important to have keen interests and passions. Tell about geology. There are many fascinating branches of geology, including petrology and geochemistry. My area of interest is mineralogy. Yeah, exactly, Blowholton. Polite gameplay for all people wanting to roleplay as a true Canadian. I've had people open and then close all the drawers and stuff because some people are polite and some people say, I don't want people knowing I'm rifling through things, which is sneaky. I prefer studying living things, birds more specifically. Week 1, we ask about geology, which is, about geology. Geology is fascinating. Ah, you're keen on geology too? Well, geology does dictate landforms, which in turn influences the formations of bodies of water. The type of rocks in an area affect the chemical composition of the soil, which affects the type of plant life that flourishes. And both of those affect the habitats and migratory patterns of birds. It always comes back to birds with Kimmy. Blowholton says, just imagine Nancy running into a room to tell someone about geology. Literally, we just did that. We came back to this room specifically just to do that. During the Bancroft Jamboree that I attended last summer, I did attend a fascinating talk about how somebody was talking about how geology does affect, where the water is and the geology of the rocks has to do with what kind of chemical composition is of the soil, which dictates what grows on top of that soil. And it's just amazing how everything is connected. Yes, thank you, Anna. She would definitely be the life of the party. Everyone thinks she rocks. Oh, right. Okay, so we also want to ask about geology. Did I ask or mineralogy? Mineralogy. Okay, ornithology is more my area of interest. Okay, so she doesn't have a thing to say about that. Okay. Open this door. This is, let's see, why don't we look? This is a pretty large bedroom. There's a love seat and an armchair arranged around a low table. There's a wardrobe, dresser, and painted cupboard. I should have been taking notes about the typos, and I totally didn't. I've already forgotten what they were. Okay. This room. We can search wardrobe. Oh, Michael says, I just finished the demo. With not much experience with text-person adventure games, I had a great time with what I played and can't wait for the full release. Thank you, Michael. Thank you so much. I love hearing that. That's like the best thing someone can tell me. One of the best things. Where somebody is not familiar with playing a text parser game who comes to this and has fun with it. Absolutely the best, because sure, my primary audience is people who remember playing this type of game when they were kids, of course, but there are so many more people who've never played this type of game before, and I still love this style, and that's why I made this. I made the kind of game that I want to see more of, and knowing that you're out there, these people who have never played this kind of game before, who've enjoyed it, that is like gold to me. So thank you so much for coming in and letting me know. Okay, search wardrobe. The wardrobe is empty. You suppose Nessa hasn't had a chance to unpack. So this one, this stuff is still empty, but I wrote all these things explaining why this would be empty, because this is one of the rooms that is meant for guests. And when you go to a hotel, usually the furniture is empty, but Nessa's got her suitcase here, but she has not unpacked. So instead of actually filling these cupboards and drawers with content, I have instead explained why it is empty, which is also new to this demo version. Oh, thanks. Michael says, I gotta say, you nailed the style of games at the time. Thank you so much. Oh, Eric says, geology and mineralogy topics helped Nancy seem like a real person. Thank you. I'm so glad. That's actually, we can search this drawer. I think all of these things we can search. Yeah, wardrobe door is empty. Oh, we can't. Okay, about this one. You can see how I just walked to the next set of drawers, and then it's like positional depending on what you open. Or you can be specific. Like there's specific things you can call these actual pieces of furniture. Okay, the painted cupboard is currently empty. You wonder if Ness has been too preoccupied to unpack. For instance, we can search, I don't know what the one over there is called. Cabinet? Drawers? No. I forget what these ones are called, so I'm just going to walk up to them. The dresser drawers are empty. Okay, so how about this one? Search cupboard. I think there's actually a faster way to do this too. S. Yes, S also works. You open the leftmost cupboard. Leftmost cupboard is empty. You suppose Nessa may prefer to live out of her suitcase. So every one of these, not every one of them, but a lot of these ones have explanations as to why empty. Open the right-hand cupboard. Right-hand cupboard's empty. Maybe Nessa doesn't intend on staying for too long. Yeah, exactly. And I'd like to leave drawers and doors open so I can see where I've been in the game. Games that don't reset them. Yes, exactly. They were kind of a hassle to implement because, as you can see, if you look down the hallway, you can see the doors that are open down the hallway. So that's something else I had to keep track of. That was more tutorializing that I think that one was inventory. I don't remember. Okay, here we go. More new. The wardrobe is full of dusty, cobwebby old junk. There's a cane, a blanket, an old lamp, and some books. Cane, another kind of a bit of a nod to the Colonel's Bequest, there being a cane in that game as well. Let's take a look. Blanket. A single wool blanket is hanging on the wardrobe rod. Take blanket. You don't want a moth-eaten blanket. Examine blanket. The wool blanket is pockmarked with moth holes. Look cane. Oh, an old wooden cane is hooked onto the wardrobe rod. Take cane. You can decide to leave the cane for someone who would need it. Examine cane. The cane looks well used. The metal tip is quite worn. There needs to be space between the and the period. I should have... every time I play this on stream, I find things that I need to fix. Take lamp. The lamp is probably broken and probably a house for spiders. Better leave it where it is. Take books. Bored already? Okay. That's fine. Leave that one open again. And we're actually... I think this room... I don't think I added anything new to this room. Okay, no. We do have this room. And oh yeah, there's new stuff in this room too. Okay, so we're going to search this cupboard. The medicine cabinet contains the usual remedies you'd expect to find. Dr. Kilmer's swamp root, Mare's system regulator and tonic, red cloverine pills, a bottle of catarrh remedy, and Beecham's patent pills. I looked all these up on the internet. These are like old medications. So that's why she's saying the usual remedies. These all used to exist. You can actually Google Dr. Kilmer's swamp root. But you can't take any of this. Again, this is just takes. But you can try. You can take swamp root if you want. You can try. All the medicines appear to be old and expired. It would be safer not to take these. Examine cloverine pills. Those actually look really, really old and dried up. The labels are the labels are peeling off too. No, I'm surprised Jack let something get so moth infested. Yeah, I guess maybe he just never uses this bathroom. I don't know. Or just doesn't open up this cupboard very often. They're probably not very effective anymore. So you cannot do anything with those pills or anything, but they are there because they're flavor text. But why don't we? Yeah, there's the shower here, in fact. And Jack did tell us if we wanted to freshen up before dinner, we can take a shower. So why don't we try that? I'll save it. Shower. And this is kind of a puzzle that is not a necessary thing to do. It's just there. We can turn on water. Turn on the water. There it is. We can pull valve. Here comes the water. We can remove clothes. I think some privacy would be nice. Game is auto-saved. So here she is. She's not going to leave this room. If you would never dream of roaming the lodge in nothing but a towel. So here she is. You can actually, you can see she's got her clothing now and her shoes up on this little bench. You can close this cupboard with the towel on. But there's not, maybe you can flush the toilet. Can you flush the toilet still with the towel? Flush toilet. Yeah, you can flush the toilet if you want. Okay, but let us get in tub. Oh yes, the wallpaper. I love making the wallpaper for this game. Yes, this is another, Colonel's Bequest reference, indeed. See, that door is open. You aren't looking too sharp. Are you psycho? You should be more careful. Thanks for playing. Alright, but there is an autosave. Yeah, that's another thing in terms of like quality of life improvements. There is autosaving, so when you do take the clothes off of Nancy, it autosaves, just in case. But this is something that you can survive. And it's pretty straightforward when you really think about it in terms of... It's something most of us would do if we're showering in an unfamiliar place. Get into... Nancy, no! It sounds like the water sound just got doubled after I flushed the toilet. Did you hear someone trying to open the bathroom door? Probably just the sound of the plumbing. Oh, that was refreshing. Game autosaved again. Okay. We can turn off the water, I think, just being in here. Exit tub if we want. We can do that as well. Okay. Lady Norman says, when I played, I knew I messed up as soon as I got in. Michael says, I really appreciate the autosave for moments like this. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I, dress? Okay, that works. Yeah, I like having, there are not a lot of autosave moments, but, well, actually, that's not true. There are, but, there's actually not a lot of danger in this game. Oh, unlock door. And you do have to, you have to really work for that death. So I feel like it's not too bad. This is your first kind of glimpse of the outside of the lodge. The demo is only the inside of the lodge, but in chapter 2 you get to actually explore outside of the lodge. And there are some like little outbuildings out there which are kind of nice to see, but today is only going to be the inside. But there's still plenty to see. Plenty to see. Okay. We have some mudroom out in here. So there are things in these lockers now, but it's like not anything super special. It's just like clothes. Oh, well. Look-in locker. The right locker contains more old clothes. Yeah, it's here. Search cupboard. It's an old red shirt hanging on the hook in the left locker. Take shirt. Yeah, everything is too big. Yes. Michael says, I gotta say, this is an insane amount of work for one person to do. I gotta commend you. This is super impressive. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I've been working on this for a long time. It's been more than 6 years working on this. Although most of the game was made in since 6 years, but that's still a long time. I have a sequel planned, and I'm telling myself that the sequel will not take 6 years because part of the reason this took 6 years was I had to teach myself everything too. Like, I'm not a programmer. I had to teach myself how to use Adventure Game Studio. I also made a lot of mistakes and stuff, and everything to do with even the menus and all the pause feature and everything like that. That's all stuff that had to be figured out and fixed and everything. So that took a long time. So I'd like to think the next one would take less time, but every developer on Earth says that, and it's never true. Okay. I hear voices near this doorway. I wonder what they're talking about. Yeah, fingers crossed. I'm really excited to start the next one, but I feel like after I launch this, I'm gonna probably take a bit of a break. I want to make some shorter games in the meantime, like as a palate cleanser, and then I want to get into the sequel. And I have a lot of really exciting ideas for the sequel. Okay, this is another staple in this game that you get to see in the demo. Listening or eavesdropping. We've only just arrived, and I can't wait to leave. I've always hated this place. We'll get this whole affair straightened out and be gone in no time. Of course, locating the will would expedite our departure. I told you I don't even know if there is a will here. That does complicate things, yes? Well, you do your job and I'll do mine. Okay, game is another autosave. And yeah, the notebook also is not just for progression things, but it also will give you like a brief summary of conversations you've listened to. So this one is Ness and Corvus are looking for a will. Kate says, Julia, if you haven't benefited from any of the Canadian art grants, let's chat afterward or tomorrow. Yeah, maybe sometime tomorrow. Yeah, message me and stuff, because I'm like the asynchronous messaging thing is more helpful, because sometimes I have difficulty. Like tomorrow I've got soccer and then I stream again and everything, so it can be hard to find a good moment. But yeah, I'm interested in talking about that. Okay, so we can get in here, and now more people to tell about mineralogy, right? But another thing we can do, if there's more than one person in a room, we can talk to the people, just everyone here, and we'll do that. We can also ask people about these things as well, so we'll do that as well. Talk people. Good evening. My name's Nancy Maple. It's nice to meet you. Sniff. I'm Nessa Crab, Evan's older sister. What on earth are you doing here? Are you another one of Evan's gold-digging girlfriends? Not at all, but I am a diamond-digging mineralogist. At least I hope to be. Oh, thank you. Eric says, I am excited for whatever you choose to do next. I have a few things planned that could happen, and we'll see. We will see. The government has sent a professional to handle that. Stay out of his way. How are you, Nessa? I'll be happy when I get back to civilization and reaping the benefits of this incredible windfall. Hello, how do you do? My name's Nancy Maple. Hello, Miss Maple. My name is Corvus Shaw. I'm Mrs. Nessa Crabbe's, née Richard's sister. Lawyer. She's Evan's older sister. He gestures to the woman seated on the sofa. Once diamonds have been found on this land, I will ensure Mrs. Crabbe gets the share owed to her. You sound pretty sure that there are diamonds here. Of course. The prospectors have looked everywhere else. That means diamonds must be here. Yeah, we can even ask about the other characters, but let's ask about Nessa. I used to live here, you know, when I was a girl. I left as soon as I was able, and I told my parents I wanted nothing to do with this place. Oh, and yes, the almonds, Lady Norman. Thank you for reminding me. Of course, circumstances have changed, so here I am. Mrs. Crabbe is my client. I'm here to ensure her interests are protected. Let's ask about Will, actually. We heard them talk about a Will. I'm the elder child. By rights, this place should belong to me. I'll find our father's will no matter how hard Evan tries to get in my way. But that's none of your business. Mrs. Crabbe hired me to help her deal with the legal implications of this situation. We will determine who truly inherits this land, will or no. Okay, well, then now it's time to tell about mineralogy, right? Hey, Duz! EJ forever, good to see you. Yeah, if Duz, are you being Duz on drums? If so, and anyway, even if not, tell Winium Chronicles, EGA, beautiful EGA. Michael says, I'm reminded of a recent Lucas Pope interview. He planned to make Return of the Oberdin the first in the series, but its development took way longer than he anticipated. He wanted to move on to other projects. I totally get it. When it's your first time making a big game like this for so long, I totally understand not wanting to follow it up immediately. Yes, Michael, it was that Laura Kress interview, right? That Lucas Pope did recently, and I listened to it too, and it was fantastic. But yeah, I was so excited to hear he was thinking about a Oberdin sequel because I love Oberdin so much. But yeah, it's been a long time to get through this one for sure. Tell about mineralogy. Mineralogy is a fascinating discipline. This is my first time working in the field. I don't want to hear your life story, girl. Not everyone is that receptive, right? Mineralogy is, please, Miss Maple, I'm only interested in mineralogy as far as this diamond find goes and no further. Why don't we tell about geology? Geology is the study of the history of our planet. My specific area of interest is mineralogy. I couldn't be less interested. The geology department has the most intriguing mineral specimens in their collection. Anything valuable? Scientifically valuable or economically valuable? Never mind. Kate asks, one more random question. Will you be doing any of the Toronto Games Week stuff? Xalavir is actually going to be in town. I think like Monday. Xalavir is going to be in town for Toronto Games Week. He's going to be doing a quick talk, I think. I'm going to try to be there for that because I would love to say hi to him and maybe potentially hang out with him. I'm sure he's going to be very busy, but at the very least, I'm going to be going to that talk. Michael says, just got through playing it again today. Maybe it makes me want another game like it. Michael, there are a ton of other EGA people making EGA games. There is, the Telwinium Chronicles. There is Betrayed Alliance 1 and Betrayed Alliance 2. There is the Tachyon Dreams series. There is Snail Trek. There's 4 little Snail Trek games. Signal and Echo Iris is missing. There's a demo for that. There is something called The Aching by Hadrosoft, like Hadrosaurus Software. Hadrosoft, that one's really good. There are a few people out there making this stuff, and I get so excited. Oh, Pixel Turkey came out with a game on itch.io called The Zen of Kayaking, for like this past week, I think. So there are a few of us out there in case you're interested in playing more. Okay, let's ask about geology. I don't know. What can you tell me about geology? What can you tell me about voodoo, right? Like Gabriel Knight. I can tell you that I don't give a toss about geology. Go pester someone else. Are you familiar with the geology of this area? Now she's asking Corvus. Of course not. Okay, ask about mineralogy. Do you know anything interesting about mineralogy, Nessa? Oh wow, this is a mistake where I have to make her say this, not have the text display this. You really are the most incredibly tiresome person, aren't you? So this has to be fixed. I should be making notes, but I'm not. What can you tell me about mineralogy? Absolutely nothing, and I prefer to keep it that way. Okay. Well, we do have other things in this room. The parlor is festily decorated with elaborate wallpaper and a cushy carpet. A cut crystal bowl of Jordan almonds sits on a low table. There is a fancy pair of armchairs and a camelback sofa. A small bronze sculpture stands on an ornate cupboard. Oh, okay. Oh, Michael. Oh, you meant Oberdin? Okay, never mind. But no. Yeah, the suggestions. Like, yeah, those are really good games. Other games. Nessa's here. Corvus is here. Take almonds. Never knowing when a confection that might double as small caliber ammunition might come in handy, you take a handful. Hooray! Here we go. Handful of Jordan almonds, colorful, unpalatable, and harder than most rocks you've studied. The surface of the Jordan almond is disconcertingly smooth and unblemished. Can nothing scratch its indomitable shell. You can also try giving almonds to people. Would you like a Jordan almond? Why would I want one that's had your grubby hands all over it? Why would I want that? Okay, this is another cupboard I put something in. The inside of the cupboard contains stacks of lodge brochures. Just in case you missed the lodge brochures in the bedroom, you can get one here. Poor Nancy. Yui Min, our girlfriend's GF, says, Nancy walking into a room and announcing mineralogy facts unprompted is such an autistic icon. I love, like, she's super, like, yeah, super excited about that, right? And so she wants to share it with the world, and that is, yeah, new to this version of the demo. Oh, you know what? I forgot. We can ask Nessa about the cane. My father had to use a cane after he came to Crimson. For most of my childhood in England, he was strong and capable. But then he dragged us all to Canada for his silly New World dream. And what happened the first time he tried to play lumberjack? The tree fell on his leg, breaking it in several places. Coming here was a mistake. What I know about that would probably go over your head. Yeah, like, Corvus has nothing to say about the cane. But I don't know. I don't think ask Nessa about, what was the other, I don't think she'll know anything about the other stuff. Yeah, she doesn't know about that stuff. But the cane actually is an interesting thing to ask people about. Okay. So you can search the cupboard. This one's got toilet paper in it. You can't have it. Cupboard contains extra rolls. That's fine. Okay. Next. Okay. Search. Cupboard. This one, open the wardrobe. The wardrobe contains a stack of old cracked flower pots, a broom, and an empty pony keg. Little keg. Eric, thank you for enjoying my almond jokes. And Michael says, me trying to balance gushing about a topic I'm passionate about versus wanting to seem normal to other people. Yeah, the struggle is real. Let's look at broom. The broom is leaned against the empty pony keg. It seems like it's seen better days. Let's look at the keg. The pony keg is probably from the lodge's days as an inn. Examine keg. You can see the hole in the pony keg where it's already been tapped. Look, pots. Every single one of these large flower pots is cracked. Examine pots. Flower pots are pretty dusty. You doubt they've been used recently. Oh, Michael asks, how come the game's going at supersonic speed for you, Julia? I set the speed to all the way to the top. That's why it's kind of fast. But I'm just used to playing it like that. I don't think I put anything in this one. Yeah, it's empty. Because it's broken, so it would be empty. We can ask Nessa about the keg as well. So why don't we ask Nessa about the keg? Because she would have remembered about the olden days. Ask Nessa about... What was that? What else was in there? A keg. Oh, the flower pot. I don't think she knows about the pots. No, okay. We can ask Nessa about keg. Kegs, I don't frequent those types of establishments, though I do remember them from back when I was a girl here in the lodge. After father injured his leg, he could still make himself useful by driving his automobile to town and to the train station for errands. But before big events and holidays, he would drive back and forth, it should be back and forth, day and night, ferrying those little pony kegs from the train station to the lodge. The guests were happy and the lodge was busy. It sounds like those were good times. I suppose it wasn't all bad. Yeah. Typos. I don't know why it's called a pony keg, Eric. Maybe it's because it's small enough for a pony to carry? Maybe? Over here, we have a bar area. We can sit in this chair. Nothing much else to recommend it at the moment. Billiards room. Staple of the Cluedo board. Nothing we can do here, but maybe later on in the game. Here is the dining room. And here is a crystal decanter, another staple of mystery stories. Look, decanter. The elegant crystal decanter has a round stopper and is filled with the finest Canadian whiskey, aged for 12 years in oak barrels. But you're certainly no expert. All right, let's have a drink. Let's toast, actually. That's a toast. To adventure, to mystery, long live text parsers and EGA. Delicious. But we can also just keep drinking it. I actually have no idea, Eric, that's just my best guess about what a pony keg is. You detect aniseed, then subtle spice and honey flavors. The warm taste lingers on your palate. But you're certainly no expert. Ooh, that whiskey is pretty strong. Let's keep going. My goodness, this stuff is going straight to my head. I've probably had my limit. I really ought to stop. Game has auto-saved. Let's keep going. Everything in moderation. Oh dear. Next time, try enjoying responsibly. Let's load that game up. Know your limits. Yuri and man. How does Nancy know what EGA is? She must be a time traveler. Maybe it means something else. Maybe it's a different acronym. Let's search this cupboard. Yeah, this is stuff that actually was. This is not new to this version of the demo, but there is like all kinds of stuff you can search. What time is it? Time check. Okay. The cupboard contains a chafing dish and some serving platters. I was scheduling this to go from 8 to 10, and I'm wondering. I will get through the whole thing, but I'm wondering if I will get time to show. I guess it will be bonus. I dug up a 3-year-old build that has all the old introductory sequence art, so I'll play that at the very end. You can also try it. You can't take this, but you can try. Take chafing dish. Why not? As much as you enjoy a good hot meal, carrying around a chafing dish for such occasions is a bit much. Yes. Yeah. So all these things are things you can kind of look at. The cupboard contains a soup tureen, a cocktail shaker, and a gravy boat. Take boat. Gravy is delicious, but you don't need it constantly. Take cocktail shaker. You're no lush. Okay. Let's back into the hallway. Over here we have study, another Cluedo board staple, featuring, of course, your moose head. Sitting in a cushy chair. Spinning in said cushy chair. Not much else to do here at the moment, but we will be back here later. Oh, hear voices near this doorway. I wonder what they're talking about. Let's listen. So what are we going to do about this? What are we going to do about it? We aren't going to do anything. We're going to stay out of everyone's way and wait for this to blow over. But what if they find... listen, if you want to talk, we'll do it privately later. Ah, Eric, this is my favorite scene in the new trailer occurs in the billiard room. Nice. Nice. Yeah, that's a scene that happens later in the game. Meet me in the study after dinner. Okay, game is auto-saved. And we have Evan and Nathan meeting in the study after dinner. So that's something to remember for after dinner. Let's talk to people. PP works too. Hello, my name's Nancy Maple, and I'm a mineralogist on assignment from... I know, it gets a bit repetitive. She doesn't say this at all after the first chapter, I promise. From the Royal Canadian Museum. I'm Evan Richards. Look, you and your friend can stay the night, but tomorrow morning Jack will put you on a train back to the city. But my boss sent me here on behalf of the Royal Canadian Museum. I'm a mineralogist. I've got too much on my plate as it is, what with my sister and that lawyer of hers, and one mineralogist is already one too many. Please, Mrs. Richards, allow me to stay for a little while, and Kimmy too. Me, Margot, and Jack is all I want in this here lodge. You seem like a nice girl, but all this brouhaha is making my head ache. I'm sorry to disappoint you. Hello, my name is Nancy Maple. How do you do? Hello, Miss Maple. I'm well, thank you. My name is Nathan Cardinal, family friend of Evan's. How do you know him? Oh, I don't know Mr. Richards at all. The Royal Canadian Museum sent me here on assignment. I'm to survey the land and find out if there are diamonds here. A discovery like that would surely make a splash when the museum opens to the public. You're wasting your time, sorry to say. My family's lived in this area for many, many years and have never found diamonds here. Small red garnets are still plentiful, but of little value. Okay, here we go, everybody. Tell about mineralogy. Mineralogy has always been my passion. You can learn so much about an area's history by the minerals present. I was never a bookish type. The most fun part isn't reading the books, it's about getting out there and finding interesting rocks. Ha, it makes my back hurt just thinking about it. Garnets are an indicated mineral for diamonds, which means it's possible that diamonds are in Crimson. I wouldn't get too excited if I were you, Miss Maple. My family has lived here for many generations and diamonds have never been found. Tell about geology. Yui Min says, it'd be better if she did repeat her introduction to every character in every chapter. They'd start to wonder if she has amnesia. Yeah, no, I'm sparing the player that repetitiveness. Tell about geology. Toronto isn't on the Canadian Shield, but Crimson is. I'm excited to learn more about the geological differences. Stay out of the sun and keep the dirt out from under your fingernails is my advice. Or you'll get a bad back like me. I'm fascinated by the geology of this area. I've never been on the Canadian Shield before. This is a special place. It's one of the oldest geological formations on Earth. It's rich in minerals, which is... Oh, see, another typo. Which is why the government has always been... Which the government has always been eager to exploit. Actually, there's no typo there. I was relieved when the garnet boom died in Garnet. Mining is a very dirty business. We can actually, we can ask Evan about his sister. We can ask him a bunch of things. Ness is my older sister. We don't get along. In fact, I haven't seen her in decades. She went off to the city when she was 18. And now she's back with that horrible lawyer Corvus. All greedy and grubby. Too bad there ain't nothing for her here. She's probably in the parlor. She likes it there. It's the fussiest room in the lodge. We can actually ask about flower pots to these folks. Flower pots. I remember about flower pots leaking dirt into my automobile, which was new at the time. Jack got a bee in his bonnet about growing fruit and veg here, so I helped him pick up plants he'd ordered from the train station. Eventually he figured out what worked and didn't need to mail order plants anymore. I'm sure those flower pots are still in the lodge somewhere. Jack was trying to grow some fruits and vegetables here that aren't really suited for the region. Usually those wouldn't take, but occasionally they thrived when he found a variety that worked. He was particularly pleased with the raspberries, and so was Evan. Can we ask Evan about raspberries? I don't even know. Oh, Jack grows all kinds of stuff here. We eat well thanks to his hard work. He keeps a vegetable patch out by the garden shed. We can ask about cane, too. My pa used to cane for years and years. The first time he tried to chop down a tree here in Crimson, the thing fell on his leg. He was an accountant back in England. They didn't teach lumberjacking in accounting school, I guess. Pa took it in stride, chopped many more trees in his life. Nessa was more upset about it than he was. Evan's father used a cane for as long as we knew him. In fact, I think his injury was somewhat responsible for the friendship between our families. He was new to Crimson with a young family. Soon after they arrived, he broke his leg pretty badly. My father could see how they were struggling, so he started to check up on them occasionally. Evan's mother was heavily pregnant with him. Those were tough times. I hear he was a difficult baby, too. So, added that's all, just little touches that got added in this new demo. Just fun things to write. Ask about mineralogy. What? Can you tell me a little about the minerals in Crimson? Well, of course there are these little garnets all around. They don't do much and aren't worth much. In other regions of the Canadian Shield, you'll find nickel, iron, copper, and silver. Ah, very interesting. I guess, Evan doesn't know about them. Geology. Yeah. What can you tell me? Well, I didn't write anything for him for that part. What can you tell me about the geology of Crimson? This area is part of what's called the James Bay Lowlands and is the land of the Omishkego people. It's a vibrant land teeming with all sorts of animals and fish. Some of the wetlands were destroyed when the mines were dug. I'm happy to report that nature is reclaiming those areas. Yes, world building, exactly. So I was happy to add a bit more writing. Okay, let's go. One more person to see. Here's Jack. We still have to talk to Jack to get our full complement. Hello, Jack. How are you doing? Do you need a hand? Now I've got everything under control. Here, you go on, talk with the other folks. Game has auto-saved. I'm about done cooking up dinner. Why don't you head into the dining room and have a seat? Chapter progression sound. And now we have, so this is here. It says here, go to the dining room, and that's all covered in like asterisks and stuff. And that means you can do anything you want, and it won't accidentally progress the game. Thinking about a game like Colonel's Bequest, you could walk into a room and accidentally like advance the game in panic and then restore your game. That won't happen in this game. Now we know when you go to the dining room, which you can see on the map. Don't go to the dining room unless you want to progress the game. You are free to explore the rest of the lodge. You can ask people about stuff. Oh wow, Jack just totally disappeared. What happened? Did he walk into there? What happened? Did he just disappear? After I opened the notebook, he just... What happened? What happened? he just totally just... Oh, I left the room and came back and he disappeared? Oh, you know what happened? See, this is... Okay, so you do the map. You turn off the map and he's gone. But that's fine. It's not necessarily a bug, because while we're looking at the map, he walked into the dining room. It's totally cool. I don't have to fix anything. Eric Parkin says, I never heard of the Canadian Shield. Interesting. Yeah, the Canadian Shield is like a huge, really ancient rock formation, and yeah, it's a in some parts of northern Ontario you can actually see it. It's kind of poking up out of like the soil and everything. Not a bug. Jack disappearing, not a bug. He moved into that other room while we were looking at the map. Okay. So, but I do know, like, yeah, we might as well just go into the dining room and see the cutscene. Lovely waltz that also composed by Dan Polakar. You can see Margot's now wearing her necklace, so her speech portrait has changed to show that necklace. My goodness, what a lot of company we have tonight. This is giving me indigestion. This food is giving me indigestion. You're welcome to leave, in fact, please do. Ha, you'd like that, wouldn't you? I'm not going anywhere until we find out if that diamond came from this land. And if it did, then you'd better believe I'm getting my share. That's what you think. Yes, that's what we think. That's what I'm here to ensure. Hey you, how long is that going to take? I will begin my fieldwork tomorrow morning. Crimson used to be a garnet mining town, yes? Yeah, but forget about visiting the mines. They blasted the mine entrances shut years ago when they closed it down. Unless the fish had a pickaxe, broke into the mine, swallowed the diamond, then dove back into the river? Yes, I see. I've never even been there, couldn't tell you where it is. Mr. Richards gets a sour look on his face and digs back into his meal. He looks like he is done with this conversation. Alright, yeah, Eric, it was fun. The world building is a fun thing to do, actually. It's really, I love doing the research for these games and stuff. And I had to tell myself to stop doing research, because it was just so interesting. Margot, what a lovely necklace you're wearing. Thank you, mademoiselle. Monsieur Richards, he gave it to me. I'm very fond of it. A cheap trinket, misshapen paste gem in a cheap setting. And Yui Min, what if the fish did do that? That's like the second game, right? Like what the fish did. That's what it's called. Crimson Diamond 2, what the fish did. It's a white garnet, not glass. My Evan, he found it here in Crimson, didn't you, mon cher? And I've heard people who actually know French and I don't know French, that should be mon chéri. But I don't have any diacritics in my game, and I don't know how to include them, so apologies. Never mind, Margot. No one wants to hear about that. My sapphire brooch. Now, this is a real piece of jewelry. Bought it myself. Well, I think they're both quite nice. Nathan, I read in the newspaper that most of the land up here was once parceled out to settlers. Is that how this plot became property of Mr. Richards' father? About 50 years ago, this land was annexed by the government. Various treaties were signed in exchange for preservation of our hunting and fishing rights and financial compensation. The promises described in those treaties were not honored, by the way. All of this is very true. Unfortunately, settlers came, mines were dug, and Crimson was prosperous for a time. But eventually the mines were exhausted, most settlers abandoned their homesteads, and Crimson became a ghost town. Only Mr. Richards and his family remained. Yeah, we liked the peace and quiet. We liked it, I always hated it here. I sure do miss peace and quiet. Ness and Corvus are first to excuse themselves from the table. They head to the bar for a nightcap. Albert follows them for a snifter of brandy in one of his cigars. Yuri Min says, the Crimson Diamond 2, how much is the fish? With licensed theme song by Scooter. Scooter, I don't know Scooter. Jack clears away the dishes and goes to the kitchen to wash up. After eating a minuscule portion of supper, Margot heads upstairs to draw a bath. Kimmy heads upstairs to get ready for bed. Nathan and Evan remain at the table, lingering over their desserts. The candles have burned down a fair bit over the course of the evening, leaving small puddles of wax solidifying on the tablecloth. Well, that was a lovely meal. Yeah, Jack does a good job. Usually I wait for Jack to come clear the dishes so as I can put off getting up. Looks like he's taking longer than usual to clear up what with all the extra guests. I feel a little responsible for Jack's extra workload. Maybe I ought to give him a hand. He'd appreciate that. About time someone made themselves useful around here. And yes, that is our next progression, is to help Jack with dishes. We were not going to do that yet. We're going to do other things. Oh, okay. Scooter is a British electronic dance music artist from the 90s with a song by that title. Oh, How Much is the Fish? I don't know that one. There's a few things that we can do before we help Jack with the dishes. And one of the things is we know that Evan and Nathan are meeting in the study after dinner, so we've got to figure that part out. Also, there are some conversations happening in the bar. It mentioned that there's some people in here. Maybe we can listen to their conversation. The voices in the bar cease abruptly as you step into the room. Clearly, they don't wish to include you in their conversation. Also, we know that Margot is upstairs drawing a bath, and this is one of those things where, yeah, if you explore the lodge at different parts of the evening, here's Kimmy. She's in bed. Oh, Kimmy Kishiro is a petite Asian lady in her late 30s. She's ruggedly dressed in knickerbockers and sensible shoes. She seems shy and doesn't reveal much about herself. During the train ride, you manage to glean that her family emigrated from Japan in the 1870s. Kimmy is reading a bird book in bed. So that's a thing where, yeah, she at this time of the night, she's reading a book about birds in bed. That's not necessary for you to see, but it just happens to be there. We can ask about Nessa, I guess. Scary lady, I stay out of her way. We can ask about, I don't know, diamonds. Geology is not my area of interest. Birds are much more interesting to me. We can ask her about Margot. Margot is very warm and friendly. I like her. You can ask about parents. I was born in Vancouver, British Columbia. My parents immigrated from Japan. They have a farm in Vancouver where they grow flowers in a little flower shop. So this is like part of my own kind of history. My grandmother was born in British Columbia in like the late, 1911 or 1912, I think she was born. And from Japanese immigrants who had immigrated earlier. And they did have a little flower shop and they did grow flowers. I'm so proud of their hard work. Okie dokie. And also, yeah, if we go into here, we know that Margot is here. We can talk to Margot. Hello, Margot. Bonsoir, mademoiselle. Would you care to join me? You can see that her portrait has changed to be like a towel portrait. Say bird book in bed 3 times fast. Bird book in bed, bird book in bed, bird book in bed. No one will be seated during the dishwashing scene. Maybe if we were both a little younger. Ooh, is that so? Absolutely. But at this current water level and our current sizes, the water would overflow for sure. But of course. So we can see that that's, again, not something that you need to progress the game at all, but it's there because these are people that are moving around and they have lives. They live. But why don't we figure out about this conversation? Let's look at these plates. Couple dirty dishes left on the dining table. There's some fine bone china plates in the glass cabinet. Now, there are a couple ways to do some things. Now, I think I've mentioned that before. There's a funner way to listen to this conversation, and that's the one we're going to do, and then I'll tell you how to get it the other way. But we know they're going to be in the study, so maybe we can hide in the study somewhere and then listen to their conversation. Yeah, we can't bathe together because math, because of volume. Let's hide. Or buoyancy, or I don't know what. You stealthily slip behind the tapestry. Look, I don't know what else to tell you. My father and your father had an agreement. This doesn't change anything. What if they find diamonds? What happens to the agreement then? No one's found any diamonds here. Nothing changes. We'll see what we can do about that nosy Belgian. And Margot? How many times do I gotta go over this? She's my gal, all right, but a promise is a promise. When I'm gone, this land's going back to you and your family, simple as that. We've been promised many things in the past. None of them came to pass. A promise is a promise. We'll see. What about your sister? Nessa, yeah, that's a complication. I'll figure something out. Just don't do anything rash, got it? I'm deeply concerned. Yeah, get on out of here, why don't you? I'll be seeing you, Evan. Uh-huh. Okay, note has been added to your notebook. Let's check it out. Evan's father promised lodge and lands to Nathan's family after Evan dies. The other way to do this conversation... actually, we haven't... I'll just skip over this. Okay, just stand. The other way to do that conversation, we can clear these plates. Knowing Jack will appreciate the help, you begin clearing the dishes away. They have lives unlike me. No, Mug Monster, you have a vibrant life. I can get the hint. Jack doesn't want to be up late cleaning up. Fine, fine. We're done here. Okay, thank you, Miss Maple. So they leave. You deal with the dirty dishes. Okay, now. We know where they're headed. I hear voices near this doorway. I wonder what they're talking about. Let's try to listen. You hear muffled voices coming from the study door. Now, we could listen, but we can't hear them well enough. We need a tool to do that. I'm actually going to save the game. Tool. You can actually miss this conversation too, if like you walk into this conversation. It's getting late, Nat. Perhaps we'll talk another time. You have a nice night. Indeed, good night, Evan. And you've missed it. This is an example of this being a linear game, but there are different ways that you can resolve situations, and that's not a particularly satisfactory way, but that is one of the ways to resolve that situation. But yeah, so that there's kind of like 3 outcomes for this. You can hide behind the tapestry, you can walk in on them and not get the conversation at all, or you can do this third thing. The good old staple of listening to doors, a drinking glass. Okay, so, full disclosure. So this is, full disclosure, I'm doing this for the rebroadcast because when I stream this live, it streamed all perfectly, and then all of a sudden, unbeknownst to me, the last 10 or 15 minutes or so, it stopped recording. So here I am. I'm going to just go through the rest of the gameplay that I did in that lost 10 to 15 minutes, and then I'm unfortunately not going to be able to recreate like the interaction with chat and answering questions and everything, but for the purposes of completeness, I'm just recording this now. I'm going to tack this to the end of the live broadcast so that you guys can see the rest of the full playthrough of the demo. Okay, so here we are. We're going to listen to this conversation with the glass. And it is the same conversation, so we're not gonna do it. But I just want to demonstrate that yes, this is another method to do this. And hopefully, when people watch other people play the game, they'll see things that they never did themselves. So that's going to be hopefully a nice way to have that. And if you do open this door, I think you're gonna get that same dialogue as if you had walked in on them and missed the conversation, and then they leave, and that's fine. Okay. And we have also. There's another conversation here, and the first time we listened into a conversation that was happening at the bar, we actually listened in from the dining room doorway, but we can do that here too. This whiskey is not bad, surprisingly. It's not the worst whiskey I've ever drunk. It's far from the best. My wife Gabrielle is teetotal, no fun at all. Ha, sounds like a barrel of laughs. You said she's a teacher. Yeah, she loves the little tots and their sticky fingers. I was basically Evan's mother while we were growing up. I've hated kids ever since. He was such a chubby little whiner. He loved Crimson, then again, he didn't know any better. Whereas I remember our real home back in England. Crimson couldn't compare. Have you any children, Albert? Certainly not. So do you think there are really diamonds here? It would be a very profitable venture for everyone involved. Oh, typo. How soon will you know? I cannot say, madam. Tomorrow morning I will begin my field work. My superiors wish me to be thorough. I may be here a while. Well, I hope you know sooner rather than later. I've never liked this place. Now I have to watch that harlot fawn all over Evan. It sickens me watching him get so easily manipulated by her. And then again, he's never been very bright. Good night, Madam, Mr. Shaw. So, there we go. And now we have the thing in our notebook we can do to progress the game, which is to help Jack with the dishes. But we've also learned that Ness and Eva didn't get along as kids, which probably comes as no surprise. But let's help Jack. Okay, you help Jack wash the dishes. Thanks, miss. Lots more dishes than usual. Happy to help. Now I gotta go see Mrs. Crab go see to Mrs. Crab and Mr. Shaw in the bar. Have to make sure they don't drink us dry. And of course need to get Mr. Richards his hot toddy. He likes a soothing drink before bed. And I don't want to keep Margot waiting. Forget about that last one, won't you? Onward. Okay. And we've got the autosave. And time has passed. Oh, they are talking still in here. Okay. Right, now very friendly. We can listen what they have to say from here. Father's will has to be around here somewhere. Things would be so much easier if we could just find it. If the will can't be found, we might have to proceed as planned to take our chances. That little gold-digging hussy complicates things. Speaking of that, I found out something interesting recently. Could help us deal with her. I might sneeze. Excuse me. Oh my goodness, hay fever, sorry. It could help us deal with her, but we'll talk about that another time. Good night, Mr. Shaw. Good night, madam. All right. Okay, so here we go. They are gone, and they've actually gone off to sleep. Actually, wait. Over here. I even get lost in the lodge. Here she is, sleeping. Albert, is Albert sleeping? Door's locked. We knock. You knock lightly on Albert's door. Leave me alone, whoever it is, I am busy. Well, can't bother him. Who else can we see? Got Corvus sleeping. We have Kimmy sleeping. And we have this. So we can listen at this door, just like with those other conversations, but we can only hear muffled voices. Speakers are too far from the door to hear them clearly. Perhaps you could listen at the door with an item that would help. If I can't figure out what to use, maybe someone else would know. Okay. But we do have the drinking glass. So that is not going to be a problem for us. But I did try to make sure that there were like kind of cues to help players to get to that point. You can take drinking glass. You can try to take it here. And it'll say that you can't. Oh, wait. Leave the pencils in disarray. Take glass. Oh, and another bug. Okay, you've already got a drinking glass. You don't need another. Okay. So, we're going to actually try to listen with glass here and see what happens. Listen to door with glass. Okay. With the help of the drinking glass, you can hear a conversation behind the boudoir door. Let's have a look. Oh, monsieur, you are wonderfully helpful. I cannot thank you enough. I do what I can. Mon Dieu. Sorry about that, but you know we gotta go slow. The pamphlet says so, right? It does, more's the pity, but I think it's working. You hear some muffled cries. Shh, you gotta keep it down, especially tonight, so many ears around. You're right, of course. This must remain our little secret. The voices go silent for a little while. All right, I think we're done here. I gotta skedaddle before Mr. Richard finishes his drink and comes to bed. Of course. Merci, Jack. Your days and nights are so very long. You got that right. I've not done yet. Having all these folks in the lodge, gotta work that much harder. I'm sure they will be gone soon. Everything will be back to normal. I hope so. Bonne nuit, Jack. Good night. You hear footsteps coming toward the door. Thinking quickly, you duck behind the big blue chest. Okay, after waiting a few minutes, Margot leaves her boudoir and heads downstairs. You manage to sneak across the hall to your bedroom. What a long and intriguing night this has been. Outstanding! Fantastic detective work, Nancy. You're a natural. Phew, I'm exhausted. What an interesting place this is. It's too bad Kimmy and I have to leave on the train tomorrow. Thanks for playing my demo. If there are any bugs, please tell me at feedback@thecrimsondiamond.com. So please do. I found some bugs myself tonight, so I'll have to take care of those if I can remember them. Really should have taken notes. But yeah, here is the credits. And yeah. Oh, this reminds me. I have a Patreon. And both of my Patreon tiers, you will get your name in the credits. And the launch date is August 15th, so I haven't figured out what the cutoff date is going to be for being an active Patreon patron. I'm going to have to make an announcement about that soon. But if you are an active Patreon patron of either of my two tiers, by that, whatever the cutoff date is to be announced, your name will be in the credits. So, there we go. Now, I did say that I am going to show the May version of the demo. So this one says C2020, but actually this build is from May 2021. Actually, I forgot to update that message there, and you can see already how underdeveloped this menu is. But this was early days. And I'm going to show what the introductory sequence used to look like before I completed all of the introductory sequence on my live streams. So let's do that. There's no music here, unfortunately, so we're going to have to just kind of fill in with some commentary, I suppose. But yeah, let's start this out. Crimson Ontario, 1914. Most of the writing is pretty much the same. You're not going to see anything different there. Maybe it's a little bit shorter, but all this art is stuff that in the first release of the demo, this was all what was there. And of course, a lot of the feedback I got was how this looks like MS Paint, or it looks, very rough and everything, and I totally get it. But not that long ago, actually, all the art became completed. I finally completed the rest of the art. This was working on the exterior of the Royal Canadian Museum. The scale of this stuff is kind of very outsized. But yeah, the writing's pretty much the same, so we're not going to go through that. This beady-eyed Nancy is an emoji on my Twitch stream, because I still find her quite appealing to look at. And yeah, this is the same animation. A lot of that is the same. But a lot of it is like this interior, this Union Station interior was finished fairly recently, past couple months. But yeah, it's kind of nice to see how far it's all come in the intervening years. 3 years, in fact. And as I mentioned before, when I do my game dev streams, there are no spoilers. So all this stuff was not spoiling anything, because it was all stuff that had been released in the earlier demo builds. So yeah, tiny little tiny baby Kimmy just sitting on the armrest there, I guess. That's a mistake. But anyway, that's okay. We have other mistakes that we have fixed and since discovered in newer builds. So, but I do like the style. I would love to have Nancy's invisible right now, I guess. But I would like to do a game like kind of like simpler graphics, maybe an AGI style or something. I love that train. And Crimson Station. This is at Crimson Station at some indeterminate time of day. It's darker in the newer version, but also I think I moved the line of the platform down so they're not just dancing along the edge there, because I would certainly feel uncomfortable walking so close to the edge of the platform. Yeah, almost like he falls right off there, doesn't he? Oh. And this three scrolling MS Paint trees. 3 scrolling images. And that pretty much does it, I would say, except for like this car I fixed as well. Oh yeah, and one more thing. These up walk cycles, I did fix some of them because some of them were pretty bad, especially Albert's. Albert's was no good. So in the new build, that's been improved a little bit, not too much, but a little bit. And there we go. That is the whole introductory sequence. It is now completely replaced by better art. And yeah, that's gonna lead us to finishing the night off, I think. This I'm gonna put some music back on. Give me a second. Okay. That concludes the stream for tonight. I will be rebroadcasting this on Wednesday starting at 8 p.m. Eastern, and I will have it on repeat until about Sunday, 11:45 Eastern or so p.m. And the reason that there's going to be a bit of a break between those two is because I'm actually going to be streaming on Twitch. I usually stream on Twitch on Crimson Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. I am _Maple Mystery on Twitch, and I will be working on key art tomorrow at 8 p.m. and illustrating it. It's not pixel art, so that's going to be a bit of a departure, but I've been working on the key art on and off stream, and we're getting to the point where I am now kind of composing it to fit on with all the different like Steam asset sizes, like the skinny one and the tall one and the rest of it. So we're going to be doing that together, and hopefully I will be getting into actually like figuring out what the colors are going to be and stuff like that. So hopefully it's going to be a fun one. What I also do is I have a points redemption on my stream to play some Biomenace. I've completed Biomenace episode 1 and 2 on stream, and we're currently working on episode 3. And then I end off the night with some EGA adventure gaming. And I'm currently playing a game called Earthrise, which is an EGA text parser adventure game. and it was published in 1990 by Interstell. I think primarily the work of Matt Grusin, and it's been a ton of fun. So I'm looking forward to getting to play some of that tomorrow. But yeah, the following day, starting around 8 p.m. Eastern, I will start this rebroadcast. And I did have to stitch it together a little bit. So I'm sorry if in some of the explanation and the second stitched together part, I repeated some things or was mistaken on a few things. Somehow Steam just stopped. OBS stopped recording. So I had to re-record this last section. But I didn't want to not finish the demo for you guys. I wanted to show that last part to show all the progress that happened with the introductory sequence art. But enjoy the rest of your Steam Next Fest and your women-led games Steam events. And 3 cheers for indie adventure, not just indie adventure games, but 3 cheers for indie games in general. I hope you play some fun demos and discover some new favorite games, because this is the kind of stuff that gets me excited, is the indie stuff and the little projects, the stuff that gets to be unique and fun and its own thing. So good luck and enjoy the rest of these events. And I will hopefully maybe see some of you tomorrow on Crimson Tuesday on Twitch. And have a fun rest of your week. Please wishlist the Crimson Diamond on Steam. The game will also be releasing on itch.io and on Fireflower Games. But of course, wishlisting on Steam is a huge deal and helps indie game developers so much. So if you do find more games during these events that you like, please do wishlist them on Steam. It helps us a ton. So have a wonderful rest of your evening. Have a wonderful rest of your week. I hope to see you around. thecrimsondiamond.com if you want to follow me on social media and the rest of it. You'll find it all there. So I'll leave you for now, and thank you so much for watching. All right, have a good night. Bye.